Once, there was a cat named Jasper, who lived a life of gentle routine and quiet comfort. His fur was the color of a summer storm cloud, soft and sleek, blending perfectly with the shadows of his home. Jasper lived in a cozy house, loving quiet things, the gentle hum of the fridge, the steady tick of the clock, and the warm sunbeams that stretched across the floor each afternoon. For Jasper, happiness was simple: a full belly, a soft place to nap, and the peaceful rhythm of familiar days. He found joy in the small, quiet moments that made up his world. Not far away, in a wide, sunlit meadow, lived Penelope the turkey, whose world was as different from Jasper's as night is from day. Penelope was big, bold, and loved noise, gobbling with her flock, rustling through the tall grass and strutting proudly in the wind. For her, the world was a stage for adventure and sound, filled with excitement and the company of others. Penelope's days were busy and bright, leading her flock, searching for berries, and showing off her beautiful feathers to anyone who would watch. She believed true joy was found in sharing your voice, being part of a bustling group, and celebrating every moment together. Jasper and Penelope lived side by side, separated by a simple wooden fence that marked the boundary between their two worlds. Jasper's world was the quiet house and garden, a place of calm and solitude. Penelope's was the sprawling, lively meadow, full of movement and sound. They were as different as a whisper and a shout, each content in their own unique way. Neither knew the other existed, their lives unfolding just steps apart but never crossing. The fence between them was more than just wood. It was the invisible line between two completely different worlds, each with its own kind of happiness. Yet, both Jasper and Penelope were perfectly content, never imagining that their peaceful routines might ever change. But as the sun rose on a new day, something was about to happen that would bring their two worlds closer than ever before. One golden, sun-drenched afternoon, a yellow butterfly fluttered past Jasper's nose, its delicate wings catching the light as it danced through the warm air. Jasper, a gray cat with a love for lazy days, was dozing on the porch, his fur soaking up the gentle rays of summer. But as the butterfly drifted by, instinct awakened within him. He leapt up, chasing it farther than he ever had before, paws thudding softly on the grass, until he reached the old wooden fence at the edge of his world. Balancing carefully on the top rail, Jasper gazed out and saw the wide meadow stretching before him, and there, strutting below, was Penelope the turkey. Penelope, busy searching for tender clover among the tall grass, was lost in her own world until she heard a soft mew, so different from the gobbles and chirps she knew. She paused, her head lifting as she scanned the meadow for the unfamiliar sound, alert and curious. Her sharp eyes quickly found Jasper, perched a little uncertainly on the fence, his tail flicking with anticipation. She'd seen cats from afar, but never had one been so close, so real, and so still. Jasper sat perfectly still and quiet, a stark contrast to the noisy, bustling flock Penelope was used to. Penelope tilted her head, her curiosity growing stronger with each passing moment. Jasper, equally fascinated, watched the magnificent bird, his eyes wide with wonder at this unexpected encounter. Two creatures, so different in every way, now faced each other at the border of their worlds, separated only by a simple fence. The fence, once just a barrier, had suddenly become a meeting place, a bridge between two lives. Penelope took a cautious step closer, her feathers ruffling with anticipation and a hint of bravery. Jasper's heart thumped with excitement and nerves, his whiskers twitching as he waited to see what would happen next. For the first time, their worlds touched. Curiosity replaced caution, and a new adventure quietly began to unfold between them. Two lives, once separate, were about to intertwine in ways neither could have imagined. Jasper stared down, awed by Penelope's size and shimmering feathers. Part of him wanted to run, but curiosity held him in place. Penelope, in turn, was intrigued by Jasper's quiet grace, She stepped closer, letting out a gentle cluck, a question, not a threat. Jasper answered with a braver mew, creeping along the fence to show he meant no harm. The scents of meadow and house mingled between them. Penelope stretched her neck. Jasper leaned down. For a moment, his whisker brushed her feather, a tiny magical touch. In that instant, they understood each other. Two different worlds, connected by a single gentle contact. The fence was no longer a wall, but a bridge. Curiosity turned to possibility. Could a cat and a turkey be friends? Neither knew the answer, but both wanted to find out. The first step had been taken. Their friendship had begun. Their friendship grew with daily visits at the fence. Jasper taught Penelope the art of stillness, watching clouds, listening to the wind, finding peace in quiet. At first, Penelope fidgeted, but soon she discovered the joy of simply being. In return, Penelope showed Jasper how to be bold, puffing up, strutting, and making noise. Jasper found it strange, but Penelope's energy was infectious. One day, Penelope's clumsy bug hunting made Jasper laugh, and he tried a playful pounce. They learned from each other. Penelope found calm, Jasper found courage. Their worlds grew bigger with every lesson. The fence became a place of laughter and discovery. Differences became strengths. Together, they found new ways to play. Their days settled into a peaceful routine until fear crept in. A fox was spotted at the edge of the woods, making the flock anxious. Penelope's confidence faded, replaced by worry. She stood by the fence, feathers flat, eyes scanning for danger. Jasper, safe in his garden, saw her fear and felt helpless. He'd never faced real danger, only the vacuum cleaner. But seeing Penelope vulnerable stirred something inside him. He wanted to help, even if he was small. Penelope's flock huddled together, hoping to avoid the fox. Jasper realized friendship meant more than sharing sunny afternoons. It meant standing together when things got scary. He searched for a way to help his friend. The problem seemed too big, but he couldn't turn away. Jasper's quiet courage began to grow. He was determined to find a way. That night, Jasper paced restlessly, his mind swirling with thoughts of the fox and his dear friend Penelope. The moonlight cast long shadows across the floor as he tried to think of a way to keep her safe. He was small and quiet, but he knew every nook and cranny of the house, a place the fox didn't dare enter. The house was his world, filled with secret hiding spots and cozy corners. An idea began to form. Penelope could hide inside with him, safe from the fox's prowling eyes. The next day, Jasper explained his plan with urgent meows and animated gestures, hoping Penelope would understand. Penelope hesitated. A turkey in a house was unthinkable, a wild idea that made her feathers ruffle with uncertainty. But Jasper's insistence, his determined eyes, and her own fear of the fox convinced her to consider the impossible. She agreed, trusting her friend more than her doubts, and took a brave step toward the unknown. At dusk, when the world grew quiet and shadows stretched long, they would act on their plan. Penelope would leave her flock behind, heart pounding, and follow Jasper to the cat flap, a tiny door to safety. It was risky for both, but their friendship gave them courage. The plan was set, and there was no turning back. Together, they would face the unknown side by side, no matter what waited in the darkness. The fence was no longer a barrier, but a path to safety. Trust replaced fear, and hope began to grow. As night approached, they prepared for the test of their friendship, hearts beating in unison. Two unlikely allies, ready to stand together against whatever might come. The moment of truth was near, and both paused at the threshold, gathering their courage. Their worlds were about to collide in a new way, forging a bond that would change them forever. As dusk fell, Penelope left her flock, heart pounding. She met Jasper at the fence, and he led her to the cat flap. The opening seemed impossibly small, but Jasper urged her on. With effort and a bit of undignified squirming, Penelope squeezed inside. The kitchen was strange and loud, but she was safe, for now. Suddenly they heard scratching at the door. The fox had arrived. Penelope froze, fear returning. But Jasper stood tall, fur bristling. He let out a fierce hiss, a brave little roar. The fox, startled, fled into the night. Silence returned. Penelope stared at Jasper, amazed by his courage. The quiet cat had become her protector. In that moment, the kitchen felt like home. Their friendship had passed its greatest test. Together, they had faced the darkness, and together they had won. After Jasper's brave stand, Penelope's fear melted into gratitude. Jasper, still trembling, rubbed against her leg in comfort. The kitchen was no longer strange. It was the place where she'd been saved. Morning sunlight streamed in, signaling safety. Jasper led Penelope back outside, both relieved. The fence now seemed like a silly line, not a barrier. They sat together in the garden, side by side under the open sky. The other turkeys watched in amazement. Jasper was no longer just a house cat. Penelope was more than just a turkey. Their friendship changed how both worlds saw each other. They'd proven that even the most different creatures could find common ground. The meadow and the garden were united by their bond. Their courage and kindness inspired everyone. The sun rose on a new chapter for both. Jasper and Penelope's story became a quiet legend. Jasper taught Penelope the strength in stillness. Penelope taught Jasper the joy of being bold. They learned that trust is a bridge between worlds. Their friendship showed that differences aren't walls, but opportunities to learn. Jasper napped near the fence. Penelope led her flock with new wisdom. Their bond inspired others to look past fur and feathers. Helping a friend made their world bigger and brighter. Friendship, they proved, is a language of kindness and courage. Sometimes, the best friends are the most unexpected. With a little courage and a lot of kindness, any world can become a friendlier place.